Hare Krishna. A warm welcome to all of yours on behalf of myself and the GBC strategic planning team into this Ram Navami special. And as we know that Ram Navami is coming up in a few days, and this particular festival is especially a very integral part of ISKCON along with the Janmashtami festival. And Srila Prabhupada actually installed deities of Sri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman at several ISKCON temples across the world where they are lovingly worshipped by the devotee community, by our congregation members, and by thousands of visitors who actually behold their beautiful form and receive their mercy. The appearance day of Lord Ram, which is coming up and which is popularly known as Ram Navami, is an auspicious opportunity for all of us to actually gain the mercy of Lord Ram, and that is what we're going to talk about today in this Ram Navami special with our special guest today, which is Sri Radha Govinda Devi. Hare Krishna, a warm welcome to you, Sri Radha Govinda, on behalf of myself and behalf of the GBC strategic planning team into this Ram Navami special. We're very happy to have you here. Sri Radha Govinda is a disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami. She is born in Karnataka, South India, in a family of Madhva Brahmanas. So we can see that she's actually one of the most suitable Vaishnavis here who is going to talk on this topic of Lord Ram. Presently, she resides in Mayapur, dham. She's a psychotherapist. She's a certified mediator, and she also uses Vedic astrology and Vedic science under the direction of her Guru Maharaj to help and assist devotees. So we're very happy to have you with us, Sri Radha Govind, and we're just looking forward where you're going to talk to us about the significance of gaining Lord Ram's mercy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Parijata. Thank you so much, and thank you to the strategic planning team for this wonderful event of glorifying Lord Ramachandra and the relevance of getting his mercy. And here we have Sri Sadbhuj Bhagwan, who is Gauranga Mahaprabhu in the form of Krishna, Rama, and Gauranga. So Sadbhuj Bhagwan is Mahaprabhu who showed himself as Rama and Krishna. And today we will be speaking something a little different than usual, what we usually speak on Ram Navami. Let's start with the invocation mantra. It's a Rama mantra to invoke the blessings of Sri Ramachandra so that we can gain insights and we can get blessings of Sri Ram. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Nathaya Raghunathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. My obeisances to Lord Sri Ramachandra, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who incarnated as Lord Ramachandra, Ramabhadra, and several other names. And he is the Lord of Sita Devi. And he came to set the perfect example of how a human being should live. It is said in the Vishnu Sahasranam that when Parvati Devi asked Lord Shiva, what's like the best way for human beings to find advancement in spiritual life, he gives this mantra: Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Om Namayiti. It is said that one name of Ram is equal to 3 names of Vishnu, and 1,000 names of Vishnu you can gain the benefit of 1,000 names of Vishnu by chanting Lord Ram's holy names. And today we will be speaking about 5 lessons that we can learn, and how relevant these lessons are for us as human beings, and how we can balance our material life and spiritual life. And also, these 5 lessons shows the way we can get Lord Ram's mercy. Pavana Stuti Patra Pavana Charitra Ravi Somavara Netra Ramaniya Gatra Sita Kalyana Vaibhogame Rama Kalyana Vaibhogame. Lord Ram is such a merciful incarnation that he wants to benedict all human beings, and with his divine eyes like sun and moon. Sun is of very great significance. We will be speaking about Lord Ram and the connection with sun. And his beautiful incarnation is blessing everyone along with Sita Devi. He is giving that nourishment. He's giving us that sense of responsibility through his example. So we will show you a slideshow, PowerPoint presentation. And Parijata, you can please jump in and we can have a discussion about this. Parijata is a dear friend, and we sometimes have discussions on these topics. And today we will be speaking about Lord Ram. Parijata is a very nice devotee of Lord Ram as well. And I'm very honored, Parijata, to be speaking about Lord Ram today with you. So this
Hi,
slide,
Vishnu.
so this is our first lesson we will be speaking about. And this is not an easy topic, as we know, right, Parijata? We've discussed this, and usually, like, people find it very difficult when reversals come in life, difficulties come in life. We kind of become so perplexed, and we just want to escape from pain and suffering. That's at least what I do. But today I want to show how Lord Ram's lifestyle, life examples, it has that power to help us see our life circumstances and turn that into blessing. And I have a few important things that I want to mention, especially to our audience, about Lord Ram, who is the Maryada Purushottam. He's actually not like Krishna's incarnation. He's actually, Rama is like, he's come to show how a human being should lead his life. So he's living like a human being. So he's Maryada Purushottam. He's God, but living a life of a human. And he followed many rules and regulations. For example, Kshatriyas could eat meat, but he, being a king, being a very righteous, moral king, he decided not to. And as a king, he could marry as many wives as he wanted, but he didn't, right? He was a ekapatni vratasta. He only had one wife. And there were many things like this Lord Ramachandra did, which were very exemplary. Lord Ramachandra, in Vedic astrology, Parashara Muni, he states the connection that the Lord of Sun, planet Sun, Sun, is Lord Ram. In fact, Rama comes in the dynasty of Surya Vamsha, and Raghu Vamsha, Surya Vamsha. And Lord Ram is the Lord of Sun. And planet Sun is also known as Atma Karaka planet. And Atma Karaka means the soul significator, the planet which reveals the purpose of our life. I mean, that's quite relevant, right? It's like very huge importance to us. So I want to connect how we will miss out on getting the mercy of Ram, what that means, and then how we can get the mercy. So this giving up is not Rama's mood, okay? So these 3 slides here, negative attachment in tamoguna, when somebody's planet Sun, when we all have planet Sun in our chart or in our karma, the lessons, depending on what mode we are acting on. If somebody has Sun in acting, they're using their power, their strength of character, sun, whatever sun represents. It represents power, it represents position, it represents strength, it represents ego, it represents ability to express vision. And we can use that either in tamaguna, and that's like this negative attachment, and attachment to negative things and negativity in general. Gossiping is in the mode of tamaguna. You can use power to gossip. You can do a lot of social media gossiping. And that's like very much going away from receiving Lord Ram's mercy in one way. But it's also about gaining the mercy means awareness. So we can today take a look at where are we missing out in advancing spiritually. We can see many characters in Ramayana who had certain tendencies. Like, for example, Manthara, who is like a main villain character of Ramayana, she had the tendency of gossiping. And then she created a lot of problems. And in tamas, we also think, oh, I'm such a horrible person, I'm useless. That's like kind of giving up on ourselves. And that's not Lord Ram's mood at all. Because Rama was a winner. Rama was the person who was always moving towards progress. Bhakta jana paripala bharita sharajana bhukti mukti dalila bhudeva pala. Rama is known as Bhakta Jana Paripala. He is not like Krishna. His mercy is not like that of Krishna, but he does want to protect devotees who put their efforts. Isn't that interesting? He wants to see that we take our steps, we do our duty, and we don't get stuck playing a victim. Sometimes some people play victim for getting attention. Oh, poor me, this happened to me, give me attention. That's like the opposite of Rama's mood, and his quiver is full of arrows. So to get Rama's mercy, we need to go through pain, some amount of austerity. And one of that is to give up tamaguna. And another thing here is about tamaguna: burning your hut looking at others' palaces. It means like envying other people for having what they have, and then neglecting what we have, and then feeling like a victim. Oh, this should not have happened to me. That's another way of looking at ourselves to see where we are at. And then escapism is also not a choice. Blaming others and saying it's not me, it's them. And not performing duties, laziness. That's like actually one of the main tamoguna characteristic of sun or the Surya, the effulgent Rama's energy. The opposite is not performing our duties, laziness, wasting time, which is a crime. So doing those kind of things takes us away from Ram's mercy. Now, there's also the passion, which again, as I said, don't burn your heart looking at others' palaces. Focus on focus on what you have, even if it's a hut. And Rama's pastimes indicates that acceptance of his circumstances. Anything, Parijata, comes to you?
Yeah, I think if you could little bit elaborate, I mean, Lord Ram himself was actually staying in a hut from a palace, and I think the statement is so relevant, where don't burn your heart looking at other people's palace. So he, as the Lord, showed that how you can be gracious and maintain your integrity, living in a palace and also living in the hut. So I think that's a very important learning of Lord Ram, that irrespective of your external material circumstances, one should always, remain steady in our values, in our qualities, which is what actually makes us what we are. And I think throughout those years, that is what I think that was the inspiration why we look up to Lord Ram, because he was under extreme turbulent circumstances, but he just kept his values and his culture. So
Yeah, I love the way you summarized it. He was in the palace, he gave it up because he took up that reversal to achieve the purpose of his life. He walked into the forest, he lived in a hut. He did not regret. He did not regret his decision. And he pursued his duties. And that's again like opposite of tamaguna, right? It's like complete opposite. Tamaguna is like making decisions and then like regretting and blaming others. He never blamed Mantara or anyone. Never blamed Kaikeyi, right? He always took reversals. And then he went into the forest, liberated demons, liberated Ahalya, and he went on to do many, many feats, which is impossible for any human. So that's the summary. We have two options. One, to burn our hut looking at others' palaces. Two, take those reversals, take them as stepping stones for success, and success is internal. We'll come to that the next point here. Attachment, the second important lesson is attachment to service and not to position. And Parijata, I'm sure you have some realizations to share about this. This is another example of Rama's life story. He was a king who gave up the kingdom, but he continued serving, he continued ruling. And he wasn't attached to the position part, he was attached to the service part. And so sometimes we want mercy of Lord Ram, but what does it actually mean? It's not only bringing a plate of fruits and flowers to the deity of Lord Ram and saying, bless me. The point is to look at ourselves and see if I'm attached to my service or am I attached to my position. That's actually gaining the mercy of Ram. We have jackals here in Mayapur, they are singing along. And in Rajoguna, we become attached to positions, right? And then we become jealous. Oh, that person has a better position, but I'm doing so much more. Why is this? And then we become mindlessly compete mindlessly. It becomes like a competition against who? Who are you trying to prove yourself? Right? That's like unmanaged energies. When the planet sun is in Rajoguna, when we use sun in Rajoguna, we use our power towards jealousy, towards competition, and misuse our power, seek attention through achievements. Me, I did so many things. And in the name of service, we sometimes become very aggressive to bring up ourselves in the center and not put Krishna in the center. That's another lesson that we can learn from Lord Ramachandra's pastime, Sita Devi's pastime, Lakshmana, who was so powerful, he gave up everything and he wanted to serve. And even though he had that passion in him, he wanted to serve Lord Ramachandra. And this shows that inside each of us, there is Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva. We can access it. And it's our choice which guna of sun, which guna of how we will achieve the purpose of our life, in Rajas, Tamas, or Sattva. Because Rajas means there is always anxiousness. Parijata, maybe you can share more about doing service in the mode of passion, trying in that mood of competition, wanting to prove I'm better than you.
Yeah, I think there are always opportunities where you get tested, where when you have power, it's an opportunity to get more power. And that's when Krishna is testing that, what you want to keep up with your principles or you want more power. And I think power is also something which is like a double-edged sword. How you use power is so important. And I think with Lord Ram is that Lord Ram had power. He actually used his power to empower other entities. So he empowered the difficult situation in the forest and the loss of Mother Sita by, of course, killing a lot of demons and, uplifting that to teach us a lesson. And he also empowered there's so many monkey devotees and the army that he had with him. So it was not just him, but I think he had a whole team there who he was empowering. Um, Especially the sweet episode where Hanuman was feeling very happy that he got the opportunity to do service, and when he saw the ant, I think, or was it a squirrel? I think it was squirrel. Squirrel, and he felt like, oh, so that was a little bit of coming from a place of power, where he felt, I have the power, I'm doing what I'm doing, and this is a squirrel. And Lord Ram so beautifully empowered the squirrel also to engage in devotion service. I think you brought this wonderful point of power, that sun is power. Sun is from where the light and the power comes. That is Lord Ram, and we have to be very careful how we use our power in our devotion service, and how we actually use that as an opportunity to empower.
Wow, thank you. I like that story of the squirrel, and absolutely, we all have power. Even that squirrel had the power, but there's the quality power and there's the quantity power, and which one is your choice, right? The quality power is this using power to serve, please Krishna, and the quantity is to put myself in the center. That's the difference. And then one of the major things in Rajaguna is capricious work, not following authority, doing things whimsically, and not really wanting to follow the orders of the spiritual master, doing it for ourselves, and that's another major quality. Then we'll come to Sattva, my favorite, but I struggle a lot with it. In Sattva, the whole, for me, Ramayan as a whole, it's such a character building pastime. And the incarnation himself shows that point about taking responsibility, owning power, right? It's not misusing power, it's owning power. Whatever decisions I've made, I own it. I own my mistakes, right? It's such a beautiful thing to own our mistakes. And then in Sattva, we don't need attention, right? We're not running after attention. Hey, me, look at me, look at me. But if we get it, we use it in Krishna's service. That's Sattva Guna. We don't run away from it, but we don't run after it. And in Sattva, we take care of ourselves. We don't expect that someone else will take care of me. Because sometimes, the Tamoguna was like feeling victim. Oh, the temple didn't take care of me. Somebody didn't take care of me. But in Sattva Guna, we do our best to take care of ourselves. And this is, for me personally, these three things: owning power, not running after attention, but use it if it's there for Krishna's service, doing self-care, has been a huge help in devotional service, in having healthy relationships, in not getting into that cycle of tamas and rajas, and taking responsibility for my life, for where I am at in life, the choices that I'm made, the choices I'm going to make. And that's the way to get Lord Ram's mercy, by taking responsibility, by owning our choices, by taking care of our life. Our health begins, also sun is health. Sun god gives us health, and Lord Ram is the Lord of sun god. And so good health is also an important aspect or important resource towards devotional service. And eating healthy, doing exercises, this is all part of gaining Lord Ram's mercy. It's not separate. It's not something like, oh, taking care of my body is mundane. No, taking care of your body is a way you honor Lord Ram's mercy for giving us this body, for giving us this health. Even eyes is sun, is ruled by sun in astrology. Bones is also sun. So there are many, many aspects connected to sun. And when I say self-care, it's on these three different levels. On the body level, because self, when we say atma karaka, atma is the self, is the body, and then atma also is the mind, and then atma, the soul. So there are three levels of self-care. What are we trying to take care of our body? What are we doing to take care of our mind? And what am I doing to take care of my soul? So 3 levels of self-care and self-responsibility. Okay, next. I will speak about humility. Humility is a very beautiful quality that even sun shows in only, which is accessible in Sattva Guna. Because in Rajas and Tamas, humility is very difficult. In Rajas and Tamas, humility can be more like a show. Oh, I can be like this, I can do service, I can give you things, I can be generous in an external way. But the deep, the real, true, authentic humility only comes from, um, it's a mood, it's an attitude. And we can see in the example of Lord Ram that he took help. See, life is a battle. Ramachandra fought the battle against Ravan, and we are fighting a battle against the Ravana, the demons in our heart. And when we have a healthy sun, the planet sun, when we are using it in a healthy way, when we're using our power in the healthy way, we know how to take shelter of the right people. We know how to seek help. Lord Ram, okay, he's the supreme personality of Godhead, right? He's God himself. And what did he do? He worshipped Lord Shiva. He was actually a devotee of Krishna, but he worshipped Lord Shiva. And he gained mercy of Lord Shiva. And he also took advice from Vibhishan, who's actually the brother of Ravan. He didn't need to take any advice from anybody. He's Rama, he's God. But he took advice. So this is another big lesson for us, to not be proud, because pride is in the mode of passion. And if we are in the mode of sattvaguna, goodness, then we know when to take help. Taking help, it takes some vulnerability and some humility, but it actually helps us to become stronger. And that's the healthy way to use our power. Something else I wanted to, Parijata.
I just wanted to kind of bind this in with the present situation that we have with, this viral infection going around and a lot of devotees getting, infected. And sun is the most powerful. That is, we connecting here to sun, the energy with Lord Ram, that's power. And sun has the power to actually negate, nullify, kill, and destroy. So, yes, the viruses are there, infections are there. That's part of the material world, and it's just going to get worse because that's the nature of the material world. But this is an opportunity to connect to the real power, the real energy, um, which is Lord Ram, and which is actually the process of bhakti. So, this aspect, what you're saying is seeking help from others, is also during this difficult time where a lot of devotees are undergoing a lot of challenges, difficulties, physical, mental, emotional, is a lesson for us to actually understand that this is the time where we should seek each other's help. And, this is an attack. The virus is, of course, COVID, and that's the name. But what we really are under attack is from the infection of forgetting Krishna and getting sucked by Maya. So I just wanted to add that little aspect of seeking help from others. So we should not forget that we can fight this alone, but we need to seek help from devotees, Vaishnavas, and I think especially from chanting and from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because sometimes, I mean, though our program is on the digital platform, I would nevertheless still like to stress that it is when you engage so much in the process of bhakti through a digital platform, that's another kind of energy which is probably more of passion and ignorance. But it would be still wonderful. I mean, yes, if that's necessary, we do that as devotees, but it would be really nice if we could actually have the book Srimad Bhagavatam and take association, of this, wonderful gift, So I think that's what I would say, that we can seek help from the Srimad Bhagavatam to actually, gain strength in our bhakti during these times.
Beautifully put. And I like what you said in the beginning about, to not be in the mode of passion saying, I don't need a help. What is this anyway, the pandemic? But, being taking this as an opportunity, not only to fight the disease in general, but to fight that pride in us or that arrogance or whatever in us, and to come together, humbly come together, help each other, those who may need help. We may need help ourselves, to come together in that humble way is the opportunity. And yeah, that's actually one of the lessons also I have to share. So in Sattva, we're waiting for the rainbow during the storm, meaning we are optimistic, we are owning power, we're taking responsibility. This is the way to gain the mercy of Lord Ram. And what else we have? Yeah, actually, this thing about minding the own business was also Rama's good example. Healthy self-worth, like, the Kshatriya spirit is like, I can kill the demons. And we need that. There's an internal war, right? We need that. Like, I'm fighting the war. I'm going to Hanuman and praying to Ramachandra, please give me the strength to win the war against who? The enemies are not sometimes I'm seeing, like, even during the pandemic, all that passion and ignorance is coming out on other devotees, because I'm insecure, and then I may put it out on others. But if I have a healthy sense of self worth, then I'm grateful, and I'm not like attacking other people. I'm minding my own business, not like going there and trying to, criticize everybody because I have a low self worth. I go around criticizing others. So that's another unhealthy thing. And the way to get Lord Ram's mercy is to become aware of these things if we are doing it. Do I have a self-esteem, self-worth issue? Because self, remember, like body, the mind, and the soul level self. How much self-confidence do I have? you know Being extroverted is not self-confidence. Sometimes people talk a lot, sometimes people are very loud, but that doesn't mean it's self-confidence. Self-confidence is a very internal thing, like Lord Ram's example. It's a deep sense of security. It's nothing to do with externally being loud. Ravana was very, very extroverted, but he didn't have self-confidence. He didn't have so much that deep sense of security. Otherwise, why would he try to grab Sita? Because he was trying to show that I'm worthy, I'm powerful. He didn't believe it truly, so he was trying to prove. And he didn't mind his own business. You see, he started. Even Shurpanaka, she couldn't. She had to intervene. She had to get into another's business. She wanted to prove that she was whatever, powerful. And in Sattvaguna, we have this mentality: I am a precious child of God, and so are others. How beautiful the world will be if we can all think like that, right? I'm a precious child of God, and so are others. I have my weaknesses, my character defects. I'm working on it, and so are others. So, that awareness, it really is very liberating. And the next lesson is: purpose of life is to vanquish the demoniac tendency in the heart. Again, I already mentioned that enemy is not outside. It is said that in Satya Yuga, the enemies were demons and demigods were enemies. And in Treta Yuga, then of course we see that different kingdoms, different kings were enemies. Rama and Ravana were both kings, demon and devotee, demon and deva or something against each other. And then in Dwapara Yuga, within the families only they would fight, like Pandavas and Kauravas, right? They were in the same family and they became enemies. But in Kali Yuga, it is described that the enemy is in one person. The war is within ourselves. It's not of others. The biggest enemy is us. So the purpose, the real war is against the demonic tendencies in our heart. So when we pray to Lord Ram, the best way to get mercy, the greatest significance of Lord Ram's mercy, is that mercy to fight against those inner demons, that courage to fight against our character defects, and that discrimination to to know when we can change ourselves and when we need to accept our situations in life. This is the significance of approaching Lord Ram, to give us that serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Okay, here again is like a summary of what we've been discussing. These are the internal dialogues when our power is being used in a tamaguna or unhealthy way. To not know who I am or what I want, to not think, to not believe that I'm worthy of happiness, and we think that I should prove myself, and to think that I am better than others, but others are getting more and I'm a victim, and to think that it's not my fault, or to think that everything is my fault, to be bored with our life, not to focus on our dharma, on our duties, to act, this is a very big one, Parijata. I was thinking, to pretend like we are fine, to show that I'm very powerful, I don't have any problems, I'm the great king, and you're all like becharas and very poor guys, you're full of problems. That's like an unhealthy way of using our power. And then to think why others are happier, because we are acting and then we are thinking everybody else is very happy. So that's like some.
I think at a much, maybe not that much with devotees, but I think at another
Yeah.
level for people who are not devotees, I think that's an extension of the Ravan-like mentality.
Oh my
That
God, yeah.
where you feel envious and all these qualities when somebody is doing good, you don't feel happy. It's misuse of power. You do not want to take responsibility for what is happening, and you just want to claim proprietorship. So I think that is not what Ravan was he represented all that. So yes,
Yeah,
just
thank you. That's true. It's a mentality. Okay, so these are the healthy internal dialogues we can have. I take responsibility for my life. I am a servant of the Lord. I'll use what I've got. I appreciate others and myself. And then to think, what do I need to do to take care of me? I'm authentic and I express myself. Let me focus on my life. Mind your own. I like this one. I have it on my mirror, mind your own business. I accept my past and my present. Well, they are more lucky, but I'm gifted too. See, these are the healthy ways that we can become open to receive Lord Ram's mercy, to get more power, to get empowered, in Parijata's words, to be empowered and to empower others in our life, to use that power to empower others, to be generous, responsible, secure, grateful, sincere. See, to get mercy, we also need to show that we are really sincere, open-minded, accepting. And last but not the least of all the points is, big or small, we can all cross over the ocean of life by taking the name of Ram. Because even the storms can float when we take the holy name of Ram. And my grandmother often sings this song, and she's saying this, Yamanelli kaninendo kelabeda, Yamane Shri Ramanendo sandeha beda, Yamanelli kaninendo helabeda, Yamane Shri Ramanendo sandeha beda. Don't think, oh, where is Yama? Means god of death. Because the god of death and the god of love, Rama, they are the same. And just like, depending on who you put your faith in, he either becomes Yama to you or he becomes Rama to you. And the biggest of all Yama means the death is time. Time is approaching. Chant the holy names of Ram. Because by chanting the holy name of Ram, even the stone, which is a cursed Ahalya, can turn back into life and continue her devotional service. Just by one holy name, you can get liberated. So don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to taste the holy names of Ram. Rama Nama Paya Sakke, Krishna Nama Sakkare, Vithala Nama Tuppa Beresi, Bayi Chappari Siro. It's a beautiful song. It says, Rama Nama is like the kheer, and Krishna Nama is like the gur, and Vithala Nama is like the ghee. So you mix all the holy names and savor it. What are you waiting for? Oh, fool, why are you wasting your lifetime? Take shelter of the holy name, which will allow you to float on the ocean of birth and death and not make you sink down. And yeah, something happened a couple of days ago in my life that was really hard for me. And it wasn't the first thought to take shelter of the holy name. I know theoretically, but only if we keep practicing it does it come. Whatever I keep taking shelter of, that's where my mind will go to. And so taking shelter of Bhagavatam, taking shelter of the holy name, we may think, oh, when I get old, I'll take shelter of it. That's kind of like Indian conditioning mentality, When you're old, you'll think about it. No, we have to start now. And every day is an opportunity. We're being thrown with stones and different life challenges. We could sink or swim. And the life jacket is Rama Nama, Krishna Nama, and Gauranga Nama. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is very, very merciful. More merciful than Rama and Krishna.
That was wonderful. What you just shared. In fact, this one, I don't know, we have a question. So I was thinking, would you like to share something more, and then we can take a question?
Um, yeah, one last verse that I wanted to sing is about Lord Ram, is by Tyagaraja. Is one of my favorite verses that speaks about Rama's quality. If we become aware and introspective, we go over this the stone and the obstacle of tamas and misusing of our power and come to that point of sattva, Lord Ram gives mercy in this way. Nigama gama vihara nirupama sharira nagadaraga vihara natalokadhara Sita Kalyana Vaibhogame Rama Kalyana Vaibhogame. Lord Ram has the capacity to remove the mountains of sins that we've been carrying for lifetimes. All we need to do is sincerely pray to him, because he brings mangalam, kalyanam. Kalyanam means auspiciousness. Mangalam means auspiciousness. And it is also said how Ramachandraya Janakarajata Manoharaya Kamaka Bhishtakaya Mahima Mangalam Charu Kunkumo Veda Chandananu Chachitaya Maratataka Shobitaya Bhuvi Mangalam Vimalarupaaya Vivida Vedanta Vedyaya Sujana Chitta Kamikaya Suhaga Mangalam Ramadasa Mrudula Hridaya Tamarasa Nivasaya Swami Bhadragirivaraya Bhuvi Mangalam Vimala Mangalam. So this is a Mangalam song. So this is sung in the end of a particular lecture or a discussion, which says how Lord Ram appeared, the Supreme Lord appeared in the form of the perfect human being. And he won the hearts of everyone. And his compassion is something that we can receive and reflect. such a long song. I'm trying to translate every sentence of it. Vimala Roop, and his character was perfect, spotless, and defectless. And by taking shelter of Lord Ram, we can also we can erase the character defects and become the pure living entity Satchidananda that we naturally are. And to understand the essence of all the Vedas and all the scriptures, the essence of everything is taking shelter of that holy name of Rama, holy name of Krishna. Vedanta Vedyaya Sujana Chitta Kamika. And all the desires of our heart, all our needs will be fulfilled if we do this one thing of sincerely handing over our lives at the lotus feet and taking shelter of the holy name. And this is a song composed by Ramadasa. He's a very great devotee of Lord Ram in Bhadrachalam. And today we can end our talk today by requesting dear Lord Sri Ram to give us that ability to fulfill the purpose of our life, to go towards learning our lessons in a joyful way. We can beg the Lord to give us that serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference, and that ability to mind our own business and focus on our growth, our development, and to empower others and to not misuse our power, and to be empowered ourselves to serve Guru and Gauranga. Jai. And we can take shelter of Sri Sadbhuj Bhagavan, who is none different than Rama and Krishna, and ask Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to engage us and our powers and our talents, our skills in the service of spreading the mission of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Thank you. And if you have any comments or questions.
Thank you so much. Actually, just halfway through, I was thinking that I was going to ask you if you could, just share one of the songs of Lord Ram. So thank you so much for that. That was beautiful. Sri Radha Govind is actually known for her beautiful glorifications in form of songs and prayers to deities, that is to Vishnu, to Lord Ram, Krishna, Putipi, and so many other lordships. So I think that was wonderful. You shared that sweet song which you learned from your grandmother with us. And we have one question. We actually want to thank our viewers who are with us right now watching this. And we have a question from Karan Ram. So actually his name is Karan Ram. And Karan Ram is asking that why do we celebrate Ram Navami for 9 days? So yeah, that's the question up on the screen.
Okay. I am not sure. Do you know that, Parijata?
I am not sure either. But I think what we could do is we can actually find this out and we can actually come back and post it in the comments later on for the benefit of Karan Ram. So
yeah, because that's not really ISKCON practice. It's not done in ISKCON. 9 days is not really done in ISKCON. That may be a different culture, different tradition, that we are not aware of that in ISKCON, but it may be a different Indian culture thing that, yeah, it's...
I think 9 is probably the 9th day when he appeared.
Navami. I mean, if he means to say why Navami, because
it's the 9, yeah, probably the 9 refers to that, the Tithi 9.
Yeah, oh, that's, yeah, because it's Navami Tithi, yeah, it's the 9th day, yeah, it's the moon cycle. Oh, I don't think it's celebrated for 9 days, it's celebrated on the 9th day.
9th, yeah, I think that's more like it. I think we have Navratri, which is the 9-day festival, but Ram Navami gets the Nav or the 9 from the Tithi where Lord Rama appeared, right? The Nav.
Yeah, like Rama appeared on Navami, also Sita Devi appeared on the Navami, and Madhvacharya appeared on Navami, whereas Krishna appeared on Ashtami, the 8th day of the 8th day from the dark moon, and also Radharani Ashtami, Radhashtami, Janmashtami. So every acharya, we all have that Navami and Ashtami. Navami born people are meant to be missionaries, and they go through very hard life and do austerities like that. Madhvacharya also, Rama also, Sita also. They're tough
Right.
characters.
Okay. I think they, of course, I would say were perfect. But I think it's a lesson for us to learn that we need to, stand steady in face of all the challenges that come our way. And I think this was such a nice session. It was such a joy. Of course, I really wasn't prepared for a dialogue, I have to say. You just took me by surprise by getting me in, but it was nevertheless a wonderful opportunity to share.
Your points were so relevant, and it really added, it really added to the Leela, because I was in the mood of how do I prepare for Ram Navami? What do I need to do? And then I was thinking of this presentation that I was working on, and I was thinking, yeah, sun is Ram. This is the way I can take responsibility. But you added the Leela, the squirrel story, mood. It was really perfect. So thank you so much for being spontaneous and jumping into the discussion. I really appreciated it.
Thank you. I think just for our viewers, actually, especially, I think this is a difficult time for our devotee community, and a lot of devotees across the world probably would not be able to visit the temple for having the normal Ram Navami celebrations, like probably not having regular Mangalarti, the Abhishek, the Prasad feast, hearing lectures, Katha. But it also offers us an opportunity to, just work on what we did now, that where we can actually introspect, we can reflect, because we've heard the story of Lord Ram many, many times as devotees, coming from the ninth canto. We know the story, the pastimes. We always hear this during, Ram Navami festivals. But this time, when the whole mood is a little different, it is something that we can take an opportunity to sit back and reflect, introspect, and just try to learn from the lessons of the life and the teachings of Lord Ram. So I think that's what we want to leave our viewers with. That, and I
Yes.
really want to come back to this statement, what you said, that big or small, we can cross over the ocean of life by the name of Ram. Even stones can float. So I would say that that's what we are in this time of pandemic and challenges. We need that touch of Lord Ram to float through this challenge of pandemic, to learn our right lessons, and just bring all auspiciousness we can to our hearts. So with that, I really want to thank Sri Radha Govind. Thank you so much for this very different, unique, and very enlivening presentation. This was something different from we having a typical class and a talk, but I'm sure a lot of our viewers will actually appreciate that. This is probably where we need to be, in the space of sitting back, quiet, and just go back into our learnings and teachings from our Shastra and from Lord Rama. So thank you so much for this, Sri Radha Govind, and we hope to have you soon with us to learn some more lessons, hear some more songs, and just all the wonderful pastimes that you share about different deities and Vaishnavas. We would like to hear from you. And to our viewers, I would like to say that this session would stay live on our channel, on the Facebook channel, and on the GBC SPT YouTube channel, so you can come back to it anytime. Just hear it or share it with your friends, so that they can actually get the opportunity to just have a different kind of Ram Navami lecture this year. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful festival, all of you. A very auspicious Ram Navami, and stay safe, stay blessed. Hare Krishna.